2 months. Yes, that's all you gotta wait until Tim Cook walks out, says good morning, and Apple reveals the iPhone 16 lineup, jam-packed with a ton of features, especially now that we have the context of Apple Intelligence bringing AI to the iPhone in major ways. So in this video, I'm gonna give you guys 10 new leak updates to help you stay informed and decide if you wanna wait for the new iPhone 16, because I honestly think you should. The new one is gonna be absolutely amazing, especially with those new A18 chips. But before I get into all that chip stuff, I do wanna jump right into leak update number 1. We just got confirmation from multiple sources, including Ming-Chi Kuo, that we will get a brand new battery with the iPhone 16 lineup. This is the biggest change that we've literally ever seen on an iPhone, and it will for sure come with a stainless steel housing, which is a major redesign. This is actually similar to what Apple did with their Apple Watch, which actually increased the battery capacity without making it any bigger. So we do have some of the specs for these new batteries. The iPhone 16 Pro should be 3,577 milliamp hours, which is 9.2% larger in terms of capacity. And as far as the Pro Max version, 4,747, which is 6.89% larger. Now, Ming-Chi Kuo did say that the new iPhone battery with the new tech will be up to 10% denser, which means that within the same package, you can pack 10% more battery juice, essentially, which means that Apple can actually make the battery capacity larger while making the size of the battery smaller, which could explain why the Pro Max is only 6.89% higher in terms of capacity. Maybe they're making some room on the inside for other parts. Now, for leak update number 2, the iPhone 16 Pro models will feature a 20% brighter display. Yes, up to 1200 nits standard brightness compared to the 1000 that we have now, which is honestly more than good enough. But we thought previously that it would come with the new M13 display material, which Samsung used in the S24 Ultra, which honestly, that was an amazing display with really, really good display efficiency. But we just got a brand new leak just the other day from ET News, which points to Apple apparently skipping the M13 and giving it the M14, which is even more advanced, so it might be even better than 20%. Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I just hope that they give it the same anti-reflectivity coating that the S24 has. Moving on to number 3, the iPhone 16 Pro models will get significantly thinner bezels, breaking all of the records for every smartphone out there. Apparently, the iPhone 16 Pro will go from 1.71 millimeters down to 1.2, which is just insane. But even crazier, the Pro Max model will go from 1.55 millimeters on the 15 Pro Max down to 1.15. Basically the thinnest bezels on any smartphone in the world. Now, I did not expect Apple to do this because they just made them thinner with this phone, but apparently they discovered some new technology that can shrink the bottom bezel of the display, allowing them to kind of fold it better, which means that all around the bezels can get thinner since Apple likes to keep them uniform. And now let's get into those chip leaks with number 4. Apparently the entire iPhone 16 lineup's chips have been leaked in Apple's back-end code. Apparently the code says that there are 5 new identifiers ranging from 17.1 to 17.5. And apparently the first number points to the chip that is used in that iPhone. And this time around, they all have the same identifier, which doesn't make sense seeing as Apple usually uses different chips for the regular and Pro models. Like right now, the regular iPhone 15 comes with the A16 and the iPhone 15 Pro models come with the A17 Pro. So what gives with the same identifier? My take on this chip leak is that Apple will manufacture just a single chip, the A18, based on the new 2nd gen 3nm N3E node, but then they'll bin the lower quality chips and rebrand them as regular A18 chips meant for the regular iPhone 16s, while the best performing chips will go into the Pro models branded as the A18 Pro chips with more cores enabled for higher performance. Now this totally makes sense to me because we previously had leaks showing that the entire iPhone 16 lineup will come with 8 gigs of RAM, so they can literally just make one chip with the same amount of RAM, and I believe it's because of Apple Intelligence coming this fall, which I think must be supported by all of the iPhone 16 models. And Apple recently boosted A18 chip orders in anticipation of high iPhone 16 demand, and I think it's all thanks to the Apple Intelligence AI features, and I fully believe that these phones will sell incredibly well when those AI features go viral all over TikTok. And now getting into number 5, we had some new iPhone 16 molds leak, which revealed a new unique change to the MagSafe ring compared to the current one that we have now. Now this is not going to change the compatibility at all your accessories will work, but the biggest deal is that if Apple is redesigning the module, then they're likely gonna go and update the technology behind the MagSafe ring itself with better performance, and that perfectly matches up to a previous leak that we had that said that MagSafe would get upgraded to 20-watt charging compared to the current 15 that we have now. Moving on to number 6, the iPhone 16 apparently might come with a Samsung camera sensor for the first time, which is crazy because Apple usually uses Sony sensors, but apparently last year, Sony was having production issues which almost delayed the launch of the new iPhone, so Apple turned to Samsung to see if they would be a little bit more reliable. And I guess they came out with some breakthrough technology, which is basically wafer-to-wafer hybrid bonding, which is supposed to make the sensor smaller and increase the data transfer speeds, but it will likely be a 48 megapixel main camera for the iPhone 16. I'm not sure if it's just the regular models or the Pros. I'm not exactly sure. It's probably gonna be cheaper, but I guess the Samsung fanboys out there are gonna have another thing to brag about later this year. For number 7, one of the biggest features that I'm looking forward to is the iPhone 16 Pro models getting a new 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. The current one is still 12, and it's by far the worst camera that we have because when you're in dimmer or lower light, it is just terrible. It's unusable and it desperately needs an update. So if they give it a new 48 megapixel sensor, the quality is gonna be so much better. They can use pixel binning to increase the low light performance. I'm just so excited for that new ultra wide. And now for number 8, we also had a leak pointing to the iPhone 16 Pro models getting polished titanium instead of brushed like we have right now, because honestly, the brushed looks way too similar to the less expensive aluminum regular models, and it feels basically the same as well. You don't get that really grippy feel. So to get the premium feeling back, I think they have to go back to glossy or polished, and I'm all for it. And we also have a couple of rumored colors, space black, which I really want to see because we have the M4 iPad Pro in space black and it's amazing. I would totally switch to that space black, and also rose titanium. Moving on to number 9, we had the complete iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max dimensions leaked by Universe Ice and Instant Digital. Apparently the iPhone 16 Pro will be the same thickness, 8.25 millimeters. It's gonna be 3 millimeters taller, about 0.85 millimeters wider. The display is gonna be 3.93 millimeters larger, thanks to the much thinner bezels, which can help it fit, and the new taller aspect ratio. And it's apparently gonna be 3.74% heavier, 194 grams versus 187. Now on the Pro Max model, it's apparently gonna be 0.01 millimeters thicker, which will be unnoticeable, 3.1 millimeters taller, 0.88 millimeters wider. The display is gonna be 4.08 millimeters larger, thanks to the bezels, and only 1.8% heavier, 225 grams versus 221. So basically, it's gonna stay around the same, but a little bit bigger bigger, the most noticeable change will be how tall it is with the new aspect ratio. And now for number 10, Apple plans to debut a new battery replacement method with the iPhone 16. Finally, you're gonna be able to replace your own battery if you wanna take this apart. They're gonna make it a lot easier, and that's all thanks to the new stainless steel housing, which most importantly is a lot more durable. With the current batteries, they're all really soft, and if you puncture it, you could have a fire right in your hands on your desk. So Apple made it really annoying to change the battery, but with stainless steel, it's gonna be a lot more safe. There's gonna be less swelling issues. It's overall gonna be a lot better in terms of battery tech, and they're gonna make it easier for you to replace, and that will also help with all of the EU laws that are going on. So there you go, those were the 10 new top leak updates for the iPhone 16 lineup, especially with WWDC over and everything that happened this summer. Now we can wait for these new iPhones, and I think they're gonna sell like hotcakes thanks to Apple Intelligence. But you let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Definitely get subscribed for more videos. Check out one of those two right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.